Okay, this is passage 1. It is a data passage. We know it's data because we only see tables, table 1, table 2, table 3. We don't see studies compared or experiments compared or two students or scientists discussing a different hypothesis. So it's just data. So in our DRC approach, data and don't read. That's what the D stands for. You don't have to read. You can generally go straight to the questions. I like to spend a small amount of time orienting to the passage. So for orienting, we see the properties of diesel fuel. We see table 1, different types, different source material. We see table 2, different types and different temperature. And then table 3, type, time the lamp burned, and time to drain from the pipette. I'm not even sure what's being studied, but I kind of know where to look now. For the approach to the questions, we're doing the R and R approach. Quick read through the question and then break it down step by step in the reread. Question number 1, what two types of diesel fuel were made from the same type of plant? So we're looking at source material, right? What the diesel fuel is made from. So it's going to be Y is dried soybeans and Z is soybean oil. So types Y and Z were made from the same type of plant. Choice X was made from algae and choice W is made from petroleum. Number 2, based on tables 1 and 3, was the biofuel type that burned for the shortest time in an oil lamp. So we see in table 3 the time burned in an oil lamp, and the shortest time is type X. So we know we can eliminate the W's, and it's going to be one of the X's. So we've narrowed it down to G or J. And it says, was it a biodiesel fuel? So biodiesel is made from plants. Type X is made from dried algae. So yes, type X was made from dried algae, choice G. Number 3, we're just using table 3. So based on table 3, the time it took for type W to drain from a pipette was approximately how many times as great as the time it took for type X to drain from a pipette. So we see type W and X and time to drain from a pipette. Make sure you put these in the correct order. So W is how many times X, right? Type W is how many times type X. So 11 is W, 3 is X, so 11 is how many times 3, or 3 times what equals approximately what? So 3 times 4, 3 times 4 is 12, that's approximately 11, or as close as you're going to get on this one from the multiple choice, so your answer is D. Number 4, consider the procedure used to obtain the data shown in table 2. If the water in the can had an initial temperature of 22 before the fuel sample was burned, what was the temperature of the water immediately after type Z was burned? So we're looking at type Z, and it's measuring temperature increase. So if it started at a temperature of 22 and it increases by 13, then the final temperature would be 35 H. Number 5, we see the word suppose. So this is a suppose if Y question. We see those 3 words, you're going to have to extrapolate or continue some information to get the answer. It's a thinking question. Suppose the procedures used to obtain the data shown in table 2, so we're looking at table 2, were repeated except that 200 milliliters of water was used in the aluminum can. Would the water temperature increase obtained more likely be greater than or less than? So would this increase be more or less than if we use 200 milliliters? So we see 100 milliliters was used, right? So 200 is a greater volume, right? A larger volume. So we can go ahead and eliminate choice B and choice D. Even if you cannot extrapolate the information, right? You don't have the knowledge. You've got it down to a 50-50 chance now, if nothing else. So the next question requires a little bit of knowledge. A larger volume of water would increase by a smaller amount. It's like if you boil water on the stove for something, it takes longer to boil a larger pot of water because it increases by a smaller amount as the time goes on. So the answer would be C. Question number 6. This is an easy question and a really hard question. I know a lot of students have missed this one. Consider only the biofuel types listed in Table 1. If you're paying attention, it just says the biofuel types. Biodiesel is made from plants, so that eliminates choice W, which is petroleum. If you don't do that, you might get this question wrong, because based on Table 2, which one caused the water in the can to increase the most? Well, we clearly see if we're only looking at biofuels, it's choice Y, right? So your answer is H. But if you didn't eliminate petroleum, the answer would be F, type W. So you have to be careful on this one. So your answer is H, type Y. Double check the categories you missed. All of these were interpretation of data questions except for question 5, which was the suppose if Y question. If you got question 5 wrong but the others right, then you definitely need to spend some time with some suppose if Y questions. If you miss any of the others that are straight up interpretation of data, the basic skills are the same. You just got to figure out what caused you to miss that particular question. Okay, reach out if you have any questions at all to help understand this. We'll end with our silly joke about biodiesel. What did the windmill say when asked about its opinion on biodiesel and renewable energy? It said, you know, I'm a big fan. All right, y'all have a good day.